All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. Hope everyone is having a good day today. Great to be with everyone here today. We have a lot of good updates to share with you guys today. We've been busy at the BD Labs. Thanks for taking the time to join us in the webinar. So let's dive right into it. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I am Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by David Rockland, the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories. David, thanks so much for taking the time to join us in the webinar and helping us put together the tip of the week this week.
Hey everybody, good to be back with you for Webinar Wednesday 99. Every other week getting closer and closer to the big 100.
That's right. I guess on October 14th, we'll be at episode 100. It'll be almost 2.5 years, through close to 3 years. We're doing Webinar Wednesdays consistently. It's one of my favorite times of the month. So yeah, we're still trying to think of something fun to do for the community when we reach number 100, and we'll be sure to keep you guys posted. And I always like to mention, just in case you're not already part of our Facebook group, we do invite everyone to join. You can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and just click on the blue join button there. It's a great way to keep the conversations going in between Webinar Wednesdays. I'm personally in there myself. We're answering questions, cultivating constructive conversations. So if you're not already a member there, we do invite you to join. Just head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. And just a quick refresher, and for those joining us for the first time, Webinar Wednesday was created as a way to kind of share some of the new built-in features that we launch week by week in the Brilliant Directories platform, but also how to leverage those features to help grow your community a bit faster. So we'll kind of showcase some of the features that can potentially help you increase traffic or improve your SEO with your site, helping to convert more visitors into subscribers or members. And one of my favorite is how to improve your navigation. We've been putting a big emphasis on making it just a bit easier to create some of your landing pages and putting a bit more control into your hands to help you create that improved navigation experience for your visitors. So if you have questions on any of these topics or anything about your Brilliant Directories website, we'll do our best to get to as many questions as we can throughout the webinar. All right, I know the last webinar was just 2 weeks ago, but the development team is super busy pushing some updates, so I'm going to run through these pretty quickly because this is a longer list than we normally have for the BD Lab updates, but this is just a piece of some of the few updates that I think were noteworthy that we should mention here in today's webinar. So I'll dive right into it for you. The first one will start at the top left there, the ability to select the font family that you want to use in your text editor. So let's look at an example of that here. And if you go to Edit Web Pages, and we'll just create a new page. So what you'll have here now is the first option is the font family to choose. And essentially, the first set are tied to any fonts, Google Fonts you've enabled in your design settings. So let me kind of show you why you'll see certain fonts up here at the top. And the reason it's limited is anytime you load a Google font on your site, it does affect the page speed and page load time. So the only ones available here will be tied and pinned to fonts that you've already enabled in your design settings. So let's go to the design settings real quick. And I'll just show you some of the key places where you might choose to set a Google font. Under the main website design, you could choose a Google font for the body font family. That's the main font used throughout the site. The heading font family, those are like titles and things like that. If you're using the logo maker, you could choose a different Google font family here. And then on your home page, you may choose a font family for the main title and the subtitle here. So there are a few places here in the design settings, and that's what you're going to see here as the custom fonts that you can select. So you can mix and match them however you want. The bottom section are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 what we call web safe font families. So they can be used, they don't need any special like Google font, JavaScripts, or anything like that to get these to render properly. These are safe fonts for basically 99% of all web browsers and readers out there. So these are just some standard fonts that are also available to you in addition to the custom fonts that are tied to what you've selected in your design settings. So that's available to everyone here now. Just a couple more with the text editor. We talked about this in the Facebook group. You can now see a preview if you're going to be editing a link and turning it into a button. So I just used the draggable content blocks, threw it in here, and now we have this preset block here. So if you click on this link, under the star, you can basically choose the background color. Now these two are also tied to the button colors you've defined in your design settings. So now you can easily toggle between the different colors, and it should be pinned to what you have in your design settings. So let me just go through these here. And if we go to our design settings, I'll just go to the main tab here, and I'll close these up. So over here in your design settings, and this is probably the first thing most people do, is they'll set their default button colors. And there's 6 of them, and they basically dictate the color to use for different classes of buttons throughout your site. Most of it is already embedded into the code, but there are many places in the admin area where you can choose these button colors. However, until now, it would just say the word primary, info, success, etc. You really didn't get a visual. So now you'll have this visual here when you're selecting your button colors. In addition to this, we did beef up and add a few more advanced settings for your buttons. Last webinar, we showed off that you can have a full width button, so the button will be expanded to fill whatever width of the area it's within. And in addition to that, you can toggle these on and off. You can have a small button, a normal size button, or a large button. So having the different button sizes and the full width option, in addition to choosing if you'd like to change the color. If you're creating landing pages and you need calls to action and things like that, that should be just enough to be dangerous there. With creating button links. Someone did ask in the Facebook group, how can I make the link open in a new page? That's a good question. Let me also show you guys how you can do that. So let's say you've created your link, and actually just for the sake of doing this from scratch, let's actually do new link here, and let's just turn this into a link. So let's turn this into a link. We want to click on the chain icon here, and we want this to go to our join page. Now, when you're creating your link, here's the option right here to open that link when it's clicked on in a new tab. So you just have to make sure that this is checked here. And to start, the links always start as plain text links. And then, of course, you can go in and add the new classes or the new stylings as you see fit. So if you wanted to change things like what the text is or where it's linking to, just click on the pencil icon, and you'll kind of get the same settings as if you were creating it for the first time. Where it goes, the text in there, and if you want it to open in a new tab or not. All right, and one more update with the text editor here. A lot of us are familiar with, we had the hero settings in the sidebar. It allowed you to create a nice, beautiful hero title on the page, and there were always the SEO settings and the social media share settings. Those were also here in the sidebar. We've now moved those to be tabs up here in the main section area. There were just too many settings to cram here in the sidebar. So for the hero section, the pages that have it available, you can choose to enable the hero section. And all the options, these are all the same options that were in the sidebar. We could see there were quite a few of them. They are laid out here. So the top section would be the image to use and some spacing options. And if you scroll down, it would be the text sizes. So the font weight and size of the H1, which is the main title, and the subtitle. And then if you wanted a call to action button, these would be the settings to edit here. And of course, the main title and the subtitle, the H1 and the H2 correspond up here to these inputs here, the page title H1 and the page title H2. With regards to the SEO settings, nothing's been changed. We just moved them into its own tab. So the SEO meta tag, so you can have the page title, description, and keywords. These 3 fields are here. And the social media sharing ones, these 2 fields are here, and the image that would be shared with this. Normally, you don't need to mess with this for your dynamic pages like member profiles or search results, but you may want to define this stuff when you're creating your own custom landing page or your own resources web page. You may want to fill these in for that page. All right, this next one also corresponds to some design setting options. You can now choose the sidebar width for certain pages. They can either be slim or wide, and let me show you what we're referring to here. Let me actually visit this site. And generally and always up until now, if you went to a member search results page, we would notice that the sidebar would be a little slimmer than, for example, and let me go to like the videos page. So we can see here the sidebar is a little wider here. And generally, when we created the sidebar widths in the beginning, we always felt that the member search results and the member profile pages, there was a wealth of data that needed to be shared on those pages. So we hard-coded and we built in the smaller sidebar here. But obviously everyone wants more control over how these are. So now in your design settings, and we can do it here together, we go to Settings and Design Settings. Under Sidebar Alignment Options, before it used to just be left or right or no sidebar, but now you can choose left slim, left wide, right slim, right wide, or do not display a sidebar. So let's change this together actually. So let's do the member search results. Right now it's right slim. Let's make it right wide and save the changes. And let's go to the search results page. So now we can see we have a wider sidebar here. It looks good either way, I guess. Just more subjective. And let's actually toggle this back to right slim. And what I'll do is I'll just clone the page and we can see what that looks like. So we can see the smaller sidebar here compared to this. So small update, but it just gives you a little bit more control over how much space you want to grant for the sidebar. Maybe you have some important banners there and whatnot. So you can increase the real estate value of your sidebars there. All right, this is a really big one, especially for those who might be international or serving other countries, or maybe our system just doesn't have a good default option for how your currency options should be formatted. So let me show you the control you guys have now, and this will be under Settings and General Settings. And if we go to Localization and scroll down, basically, we're actually going to put a subtitle over these 3 settings, but you have website currency number format. So let's look at this option first. Basically, you can choose if the thousandths place will use a comma or not, or if it would use a decimal. Let me zoom in here a bit. So no comma, comma for the thousandths, or some countries switch using the dot decimal and the commas for what we know as the cents, or you can just have whole numbers represented on your site with a comma. So those options are there for you. I'd recommend going back and visiting this and saving these how you like it. Then the currency prefix. So this is basically what shows before the numbers. Generally, you don't want to keep this blank. At the minimum, you should have your currency symbol. Maybe it's important to do like USD with the $ or AUD. Or if you wanted the suffix, which is what shows after the last number of the price that's being shown, you could do something like this. So it would show the $, the numbers, and then AUD would be at the very end. And this would apply to anywhere prices are shown by the system on your website. So sign-up pages, is sometimes in the search results, the price of a property listing, and whatnot. But generally, this is most important for your membership plans. when people are signing up through those checkout pages. So generally, for the States and Canada and whatnot, you probably just want to do the comma option with the $sign, but I know we have a lot of international users here, so now you should have more flexibility in your currency formatting. Okay, and we now have a new layout for the membership plans settings. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's go edit a membership plan in the Finance tab. Okay, so for starters, before we used to start with a tab called General, and it basically just had a mix of settings that weren't very well organized. What we've attempted to do here is, one, to better organize settings that make sense under these tabs, and more importantly is we've added some subheadings. You'll see these blue titles as you scroll down, sign up settings, upgrade settings. So we've organized, there's so many settings for membership plans, but we've organized them a bit better here. When you're coming, you can kind of do things a bit quicker. Under the profile page, I'll just run through this pretty quickly. Of course, we introduced the ability to choose the order of items in the member profiles page overview tab. So you can choose if it's going to show the Google map, the contact details, the about me, and etc. And you could choose what position it'll be. Then you can turn on or off what of the personal members information will display on their profile page if they add it. So will their website link show, social media, their street address? So you can turn personal member data on or off here that will display on their profile page that visitors would see. Below that are some page display settings, should the breadcrumbs show or not, to show banner ads or not, hiding the header or footer of the website as well. And then here you'll also see the member review settings, requiring all reviews to be approved by the admin first, and some of the other options here. And if you have the member profile badges add-on, you'll see that here as well. Under the member dashboard, first you'll be able to select what information you want to collect. Effectively, you can choose what tabs to show when they're inputting their information, their contact details, the additional listing details, and the About Me form. You can choose if they can add profile photos or logos, or if you have the profile cover photo add-on. And then the dashboard display settings. So when they log in and they go to their main member dashboard, these are some items and elements you can turn on or off there. And then, of course, we talked about in previous webinars, adding some custom dashboard content to welcome your members or give them some calls to action or instructions to follow. If you haven't played with this yet, it's pretty cool. What I like to do is just use the text editor, and just like you're creating a web page, you can create a nice welcome message that'll show at the top of your members' dashboard when they log in here. And yeah, just some more additional settings here, but there's a little bit more organization here in the membership plans area. So yeah, take a peek under the hood, and should be hopefully a bit easier for everyone to use. And then the last one here, conversion tracking code input. This is also in the membership plans settings under signups and upgrades. There is a tab here called Successful Signup or Upgrade Conversion Tracking Code. So if you're using Facebook Events or Facebook Pixels or Google Tag Manager for tracking conversions or whatever it might be, affiliate tracking code, you can drop your specific conversion tracking code right here in this box, and upon a new successful member sign up or an upgrade, essentially that tracking code will render, and the pixel will track whatever the event was for that. And you can do this on a per membership plan level. So this option is here for you now too. All right, moving down to the bottom of the list here, some items that are coming soon. We've reviewed this in a couple of the previous webinars. The ability for members to leave comments on the posts, that's going through its final QA process right now. So hopefully in the next webinar that will be released for everyone. The ability to upload images with reviews. We'll show that in the tip of the week here on how that works. We're releasing a simple methods where you can edit your own robots.txt files. This is for more advanced users that need to make custom edits to that robots.txt files. Mostly for most of our users, they don't need to access that, but some of our more advanced developer users are asking for access to that. This one I can show you actually is the ability to toggle and change your own theme And we're going to be introducing the ability to restore backups of recent changes that you've made on your site. So let me show you that right now. This is kind of big, and we're excited for that as well. So we can head on over to the design settings. Okay, great. You'll have a tab here on the far right once this is released called Change Theme. And you'll be able to see all the available themes that we have on the Brilliant Directories website. So let's take a look at this site right now. Let's visit this site. And we have the real estate agency theme installed here. So let's just change something. Let's change it to the lead capture theme. So we'll click on Activate Theme. It takes about 15 seconds. In this version, normally with a theme, you also get all the custom menus. Well, they're not custom, but default menus that go along with that theme. But in this, a lot of people, especially existing users, have already made changes to their menus. So in this update, the theme is just going to change what's in your design settings. So now let me just duplicate this page. And we should see now the lead gen theme is enabled on the site. So what it's effectively done is just changed all the design settings that make a theme like the lead gen theme. What's really important to note here, there are a few fields in your design settings that changing your theme will not affect. One will be anything in your custom CSS or head tab here. We don't really want to mess with that when you're changing themes. And also your banner ad design settings. So if you've established or set banner ads, you're not going to change anything here by changing your theme. And then the last thing is if you have the website announcement bar add-on, any custom announcement that you've created will not be modified by changing your theme. And up here in the top right, we can see restore backup. So this will be something new once this is released. And you'll be able to restore, there'll be 10 backups available. So your last 10 saves of the design settings, not just changing your theme. So in this case, we can go back to just a minute ago. This 12:27 is the time set that the website is set to. But let's restore a backup. And we're going to definitely want to introduce this restore backup feature in different areas of the admin if you're editing a menu or a form and whatnot. So we'll be starting it here, and then we'll be releasing it to other areas. This can hopefully help you guys revert any changes. If you accidentally did a whoopsie daisy on something, you can certainly restore it back. So we were on the lead gen theme. Now let's just duplicate this, and it should go back to the real estate agency theme that we had, and it certainly did. So this is in the QA process, and excited to release that. I think it'll add a lot of relief for people who are doing changes on their site. Draggable content blocks for emails is coming soon. Being able to select smart lists when you're scheduling newsletters, that's going through its final QA right now. And the ability to force end some of your staff admin sessions for security, that's being released soon. And also same page member registration is coming soon. I can show you a quick demo of what that will look like. That should definitely help you guys increase your general user subscribers on your site. So for that one, we can go to this site here, and if I go to the member login page, we have the member login here, and there's a tab here to register a new account. So we can click this, and in your general settings, you're going to choose one of your free membership plans that you want these registrations to be pinned to. If you don't have free membership plans, then this won't be available. People will just go to the normal checkout page. But if you can pin at least one of your free membership plans to this feature, then you'll have this tab on your page. So if we go, let's just sign up here. And it works just like the free sign up page would work. It just processes the request. You get the message to check your email for the thing, and you can go ahead and log into the dashboard right there to check for the verification email. What's really cool is there's a lot of areas that ask you to log in before doing an action. If you make a page a members only page, if you're about to purchase a digital product, if you want to send a private chat message to a member, and again, like if you want to leave a review and you've made the review page members only, those are all areas where this will come in handy, and the user can register on the same page and continue their action from where the account was created on the same page. So this should help with getting more general users subscribed to your website, and it's makes it a little easier and convenient as well. All right. I know that was a mouthful. What I'd like to do is, if you guys have any questions about some of these updates, how you doing, Brad?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Where are you calling in from?
Phoenix.
All right. And what's your question for us today?
Hey, for the post commenting add-on that's going to get released, is there a way to like restrict that to like membership level? We were thinking about doing a like a Q&A, like a general user could ask a question and then premium members could like reply to it.
So there's a couple things that you can do. One is you can choose whose comments based on membership level will be moderated. So those general users, their comments would be moderated, so you choose to make them public, as opposed to other members whose comments will be published right away. And then the other thing is, the idea is if you can view the post, you could or should be able to comment on it. So you could do members only. It's not exactly what you want, though.
Well, I could make it so premium members show up right away, and then if anyone else tries to respond as a comment, I would just never approve it. Would that work?
Well, I'll tell you what there is. There is going to be a text label for moderation. So what you can do is go let them submit their comment, say, and then you can edit that text label that says like your comment is pending approval, but decorate that more. Because you're a general user, your comment is pending approval, or whatever you want to say. If you want your comments to be instantly published, upgrade, and you can update that text label to say all that stuff with the upgrade link and everything, because they're going to be logged in anyways to leave a comment, so you can link them to their upgrade page. That might be a small workaround for you.
So can I make a custom post type that would be like a question that general users could then, post like a legal question, for example?
Yeah, you can clone like so I think the closest thing would be like a member article, because it's basically a title and the body of the content. And they could just post those, and then whoever wants to comment on those can comment on them. So it really does create like a community forum feel with that kind of.
Okay, thanks.
All right, you're welcome. All right, guys. With that, we can segue into the tip of the week. We do have a new add-on coming soon. It's the ability to add photos to member reviews. And we thought it would be a good idea to kind of show you, one, how this works and some of the benefits your visitors and your members can gain with this, and how you can leverage this to increase the number of subscribers that join your site. David, if it's okay with you, can I pass over the mic to you to kind of walk us through how this works?
Yeah, definitely. I thought we might start this this short little presentation off just by talking about the value that member reviews in general can add to a membership or directory website. Now, obviously, not all websites will find member reviews necessary or useful. For example, if you have a membership site for a specific club, then you might not want to have certain club members reviewing others on their profiles. But if you have a business directory or a local city guide, then member reviews would come in handy, because you could utilize that so that users or consumers would be able to leave reviews for businesses. So having these legitimate reviews, they add high quality and unique content to your website, which search engines like Google really value a lot now. And then also, because these reviews will be displayed on member profile pages, that will give all the profile pages that you might have on your website, if they have reviews, even greater SEO value and a greater likelihood to be indexed within search engines if somebody is searching for that particular business or whatever the member may be. Also, you can edit the review criteria to better apply to your audience. So by default, there's certain criteria for reviews, additional criteria. So you have the overall rating, 1 through 5. And then if you want to have additional criteria like a service rating, an expertise rating, responsiveness, communication, things like that, you can further customize those additional specialties to better apply to your audience. Also, having these member reviews motivates your members to maintain their profile's relevancy, keep the information on their profiles up to date, constantly check back to see if they have any reviews. If you have the reply to member reviews add-on, or you're part of the VIP add-ons club, then members would constantly be coming back to their profiles to check if they have any new reviews that they need to reply to. And also it encourages members to upgrade if you give only specific membership plans the ability to accept reviews. So your general users, they might have a basic business listing, business profile, and not have the ability to accept reviews. But having that ability to accept reviews or reply to reviews would be a great benefit to businesses especially. And so you could encourage members to upgrade to membership plans that do have that functionality. And so by adding photos into the mix, that adds even more value to the reviews that are on your members' profile pages. So obviously having photos integrated with the reviews makes the profile page as a whole more immersive and engaging. It really helps to liven the page up rather than just scrolling down and seeing a bunch of text after text. The reviews would then be able to be included within the Google search results. So again, if somebody's searching on Google for this particular restaurant, say for example, then any photos that may have been left with somebody's review on that restaurant's profile page on your site, those photos may then be able to be indexed if they're relevant in a related Google search. So that could be another potential way for people to come to your site is through Google image results rather than just a normal typical search. Also, visitors would spend more time looking at photos on your site rather than, again, just kind of quickly scrolling through a bunch of reviews and just glancing at the overall ratings. So increasing the time users spend on your website increases SEO value. Google and other search engines like to see greater time spent on web pages. Also, it increases the value that your website provides users. Again, if we go back to the basic example of restaurant profile page, having giving users the ability to leave reviews with photos dramatically increases the value that those reviews provide to other users of your website. You know, if you think about going to Yelp and looking at a restaurant and you're going through the reviews, it's going to be the reviews probably with photos that you're going to give more weight to, because then you can actually see the photos of the food. Or if you're on a wedding planner directory, you can see photos of the venues and actually see what kind of work this member turns out, rather than just reading text about what they can do. You can actually visualize it. And then bringing all that together, it just increases the legitimacy of the reviews that are left for the members on your website. And so lastly, before we get into kind of how this works and the process that somebody would go through to leave a review and upload photos with that review, I figured it would just be a good idea to quickly go over what kind of websites would actually benefit from having this, this functionality. So obviously it would be websites with a more visual-oriented audience or industry. So again, those restaurant-based directories, construction or designer directories, maybe like an interior designer. Obviously, if people can leave reviews showing what certain interior designers were able to do with their spaces within their home, that would be a great benefit rather than them trying to describe it in just a plain text review. Again, wedding planner directories, auto repair shop directories would be another good one, so people can post before and after photos with their reviews. Vacation planning and local directories, again, being able to really visualize these things rather than users trying to best describe their experience in text and then other people reading reviews and trying to figure out how certain things turned out just by reading text. It's a lot easier to visualize all this stuff through photos. So if your site kind of focuses on something like this, then this functionality might be a great benefit. If you have a site maybe focused on like lawyers directory, then maybe photos with the reviews might not be quite as useful.
This is a great list, Dave. I know there's more categories that this would fit into, but yeah, I think you touched on a lot of industries here, and I think that's also a good point. This may not be for everyone, like professional services, like lawyers and chiropractors or whatnot. It may not be applicable to, but definitely for visually oriented businesses and services, this would be a home run, definitely. All right, so yeah, this is just about ready to be released. We're looking probably next week or within the next 2 weeks for sure. So I'll toggle over to a site where we have a demo of this available, and we can see how the workflow would work from the user's experience. So first thing, to leave a review with images, because it does require a file upload, it would require the person to register an account to leave their review with images. They could leave a regular review without images if they don't want to register as a member, a general user member on your site. They can certainly just leave their plain text review, but it will require them to at least create or have some type of a membership level, be subscribed as a member on your website. So let me just log in as a sample member on this site that we have. Sample general user. Okay. And let's go to the search results page and find somebody ripe for a review. Sample member. All right, we worked with sample member. They did a really good job. So let's write a review. And we can see here I am at the top here logged in as the general user. Great service and courteous. All right. Great person to work with. And we'll just copy this a bunch of times. All right. So we can leave our overall rating. 5 out of 5 for this person. I'm already logged in, so there's no need to enter my company name or email address. The email address when the review is public, it will never be shown on the public facing of the site. Email addresses are never, you never want to, and by default, they're never publicly displayed on any pages of the site. They're only the logged in member or you, the administrator in the backend area, would see an email address. So let's submit this review. So now it's going to ask us if we want to add photos to our review. We can click no and just submit the review without photos, or we can click yes and we can add photos. So by default, it'll allow up to 5 photos to be included with the review. That should be plenty, and it should prevent anyone from over spamming the review with too many photos to start with. So you can add your 5 photos. You get a preview of it here, the person who's submitting it. If you made a mistake, you could clear your images and you can add them one more time. And I'll go ahead and click to complete. And after it's done uploading, obviously the member would get notified that there's a new review. So the review has been sent. In this case, the member gets to manage their own reviews, so they can approve any pending reviews they have. So now I'm in the member dashboard, and we can see that we have a review here. I'll go ahead and approve this. So we can see here a preview of the images. What's really cool is you can click on the images and see a sample of them. And you can go ahead and accept the review in this case. We're giving the member the discretion to choose if they want reviews accepted or declined. And if we go to the member's profile page, we can see what this looks like in the reviews tab. So we can see reviews here. Again, the public visitor can come here and see the images that accompany the review. You can scroll down and see more. We can see a review without images. And what's also cool is on the reviews search results page, so /reviews, you should be able to see the images here as well when you're searching for members and their reviews, and also enlarge the images here as well. Lastly, every review for SEO purposes has their own detail page, and on that detail page for a specific review, we can see the full review, and then we can see all the accompanying images as well with that review as well. And then if we scroll down, we see other related reviews for this person as well. Plain and simple, but should add a lot of value. Your members, especially those in visually oriented businesses and services, should appreciate that now their customers and people who have been patrons of their businesses can leave photos with their reviews. Did I miss out anything there in that demo?
No, I think that looks really great. Ryan actually asked a great question. He wanted to know if users who are visiting the website from a mobile device, if they would still be able to select photos as well.
Yeah, you can. It will, Ryan, work on mobile. All right, let's turn it over to you guys. If you have any questions about your BD sites or anything we shared today, we'll be happy to field some questions from you. Let's see our good friend Colette. How are you, Colette?
Hi, Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thanks for joining the webinar.
How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for asking you.
Good, good. Very good, thanks. Jason, just a quick question about the admin site. Is there any plans to make that mobile friendly?
It is. It is. It has fallen, as you can see. We're pushing so many updates. It has fallen behind the mark for us for this 2020, but we are looking for a revamp towards the end of the year in 2021. If there's a specific area that you're finding extra difficult to access on a mobile device, share it with me or share it with the support team. A screenshot would be helpful as to what you're seeing, and maybe we can make a quick patch just for that area that you're experiencing where you'd need a little more access on mobile devices.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem. You got it. Thank you. All right, let's see some other hands up here. All right, we got Rich. How you doing, Rich?
Hey, Jason. A quick question and then some great feedback from IT and support. They did 2 big wins for us this week. We're awesome.
Great.
First quick question, just on the photos you mentioned, illustrating 5 by default. Is that kind of the standard, or is there an occasion to add more or remove?
So
less?
Yeah, in a phase 2, we'll let you, the website owner, decide the maximum limit for images per review. But to release this kind of more safely and securely and a bit more stable to start, it's just going to be limited to 5. And in a phase 2, you'll be able to define the maximum images per review.
Yeah, I think 5 is perfect. And if you can go to my site, I'd like to just give kudos and a shout out to the support team of this big wins for this week.
Sure. What's that? Which site?
So the site is podcastersdirectory.com.
Okay.
That's Podcasters Directory. If you go to our back office and log into like a first member, earlier tonight you were talking about the ability to be able to insert content on a dashboard, a member's dashboard.
Right.
This was a big one for us. So like if you go to our just to our admin and log in as a member. So this is huge because this was a big challenge too. So right on the member dashboard, this was a big challenge for them to complete their profile. They would put in their name and email and kind of it would be dormant after that, right? So we just created a real simple video. You can kind of play it. You don't really have to play the whole thing, but I just advanced it to the 2-minute mark. And this basically, and we're going to do a more high-tech version of this, but basically it allows them to see the steps visually and hear the tutorial video of how to complete their dashboard. Why it's important to fill out their all their steps. And if you scroll down, then we go to get a match. But this was the big challenge. Rather than emails or newsletters or pinging them with an email, hey, your Jason, your dashboard's only at 25%. You got to fill in the other 4 buttons. I mean, I'm telling you, we just had this in about a matter of days. Like literally 7 out of the last 8 people have completely filled out their entire dashboard.
Wow.
100%. Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
a game changer.
Let me just go to the membership plan here. Let's see what you've done. Now, the video, I'm sure, the important thing is don't overthink it or else you'll never make it like a how-to video or an explainer video.
Right.
So this was for your Rising Star podcaster. Let's see here. Where is that guy? Here, let me just do a...
Actually, I put him in all of them. The video's in all of them, pretty much.
So let's just see. Let's just show everyone how you did that. So you went essentially now it's in member dashboard.
Right.
It's under the custom dashboard content using the text editor, and you've dropped it right here. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that was huge for us to be able to put a video as soon as, and then when people sign up, we redirect them right back to their dashboard. The first thing they're going to see is, if you want to get more bookings, watch this. It's only a 1.5-minute video, and then virtually, like I said, 7 out of the last 8 people have all, watched the video and completed their entire profile. So I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Thank you so much. And that's exactly why that setting was created there, is so you can direct your members on the next actions to take or promotions that you have, or information on how to get the most use from being a member on your directory. So Rich, thank you so much for sharing that there. Well, guys, we'll stop it there. The images for reviews. Looking forward to that being released in the next couple weeks. Lots of BD Lab updates currently released and coming soon, so stay tuned. If you're not part of the Facebook group, I do recommend joining. Head on over to brilliantdirectories.com /Facebooks. We do push a lot of updates there in the Facebook group of things that are coming soon, and also asking for your feedback on what you would like built into the platform. So on behalf of myself, David, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Next webinar, webinar 100, will be in 2 weeks on October 14th. We're going to think of something cool to do for the community to celebrate 100 Webinar Wednesdays. So again, we'll see you guys there. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.